So now we can have a look at basic API programming using Spring Boot. This is the demo Spring Boot application. This is another class file course API and course API. This is another class file of Java called course. Our intention is to on a local host server we need to display the details of 3 courses that we have created here. So that to be provided at an endpoint and URL the local host at endpoint named /courses localhost, which it will be employed, and /courses will retrieve this data to us. So for that, creating a dependency, we need to add the starter. We said that for developing a Spring Boot application, there is the first case is the starter. So first component is the starter. Starter can be package can be included in the Eclipse IDE. Otherwise, we can employ it online. This is just drag and drop option. In the previous case in Spring MVC was not like a GUI application and all. It is some hard to configure this. So Spring Boot resolves that complexity, and by checking checkbox and all, we can choose the necessary dependencies and versions for our Spring Boot. Here we can check for the one. We will use the Maven, use Java language, Spring Boot. Recent version will be used. Snapshot version must not be used because it is the one under development. And next is that we can name the package name and name of our application here, and we can add dependency here. So as we wanted to create, as you can see, they are providing example web security JP actual dev tools will be example of the dependencies. Here we are creating a Spring web application, so we use Spring Web. There is several other ones, Spring Web, Spring Security, several components. We use the Spring Web, and so that has been added, and we can generate this package will be downloaded, installed in our Eclipse IDE. So I can apply that. I have already done that. So and include that. If for the first time, it will take up to 10 or 15 minutes to fill up that. Next, we can write our program. This will be basically provided in this package. That is in the this is our package demo _ Spring Boot. So you can see in the left side panel. Demo _ Spring Boot is our package name. It will be included in this, and the Java class file is run in the source main /Java. In this package we have, there will be default case, there will be this file, that is this file. As we said, we need a Spring Boot application. It has created a basic starter application for us to start. This is the starter class, as it contains a public static void main function. And we have done call a method that Spring application.run method, and demo Spring Boot application.class has to be employed here. So we have a user and annotation here, Spring Boot application, to ensure that this is a Spring Boot application. And from that, the control goes to the course API, where we have used REST controller. Mainly, it will go to the config controller or service section. That service section makes this mapping. At REST controller annotation is used here when the compilers Spring Boot compiler sees this. It will understand that we are going to create an API for our application. And for request mapping, for mapping our endpoint, we are using request mapping. Without any argument, request mapping means that we are using get request, and at the endpoint /courses, we are creating a list of courses. List of courses in the sense, this course is a class name which we have defined here. This class this is a bean. Manually we are not referred as bean, but it is a structure of bean because it is a public class. The private members that is which contains a course ID, course name, and author of that course, and it contains a constructor, and also contains three getters, public getters for getting the ID, course name, and author from the different classes, and a toString method is there. We can also define this setter, but I have not. As this is a simple application, there is no need of any external modifying or overwriting. We doesn't provide a setter, only getter is provided here. So when we create this, create object to this course, this constructor is called, and the object is created. A new course of a new object of this course class is created with ID with these values, and it will be received at the endpoint with localhost /courses endpoint. So you can see in the PDF in the theory, this is the screenshot of that. So you can go through this. The steps of execution is provided here. My first main method will be executed because that file will be auto-generated for us. And then demo application, Spring Boot application is provided. .run method, Spring Boot application .run method is there. The outer of that method is enclosed with the demo Spring Boot application. Inside that Spring Boot .run method is applicated. In run method is executed. In this run method we have provided a .class plus args. Eclipse ID, you can see that. Demo Spring Boot application .class, args is provided. Then the Spring Boot .run method initializes a Spring Boot application context, which includes scanning for component, setting up the configuration, starting the embedded servlet container. Then, as the demo Spring Boot application class, we have annotated with the @Spring Boot annotation. It internally includes a component scan annotation. Component scan, as we see in our lecture, at component scan is used. You can see find. And component scan what will do? It will specify the packages to scan for the Spring components, allowing Spring Boot to automatically detect and register beans in the application context. So when it sees the @Spring Boot application, it sees that it is a basic Spring Boot application, so it needs necessary dependencies. So it will be automatically configured by calling the @component scan annotation. The component scan application implicitly include component scan, which causes Spring to scan for components like controllers, services, and repositories. If there is we have added it in our project. Next comes controller initialization. During the component scanning, it will find the course API class as it's a pack in this package as a Spring MVC controller because of @trust controller annotation. As we provide @trust controller annotation in before the course API class, public class, this control the component scan time, the Spring Boot application finds it as a controller. So it recognizes that there is a controller in this function which handles the HTTP request. Inside that class, we have provided a request mapping initialization method with this annotation. This maps the incoming HTTP request with the URL path at @endpoint/courses to this method. The annotation of this course creation method maps the incoming HTTP record to the URL path /courses to this method. That is, when the URL goes through while we are running the server, when it catches this URL, it will be mapped to the method which is annotated with this request mapping with this this endpoint. So when this is seen in the URL, it will the Spring Boot focus the direction to the corresponding method in the method means this method public list course creation method to this it will be mapped. So instead that we are creating object of course class as a list. The course inside the course creation method, a list of course objects are created and returned as a response. This response is automatically converted to JSON format by Spring Boot because of the address controller notation. When we said address controller, it consists of, as we said that it is a combination of two annotation like at controller annotation and at response body annotation. So it also handles the HTTP response body also. So response will also be created in the JSON format. As the REST API uses JSON format, response will be created in the form of a list in the JSON. It will be mainly in the database on the Java concept. It will be a list, but in the UI, but in the response structure, it will be of JSON format. Inside the course creation method, list of course objects are created and returned as a response. This response is automatically converted to JSON format by Spring Boot because of the REST controller annotation. Next comes the object initialization. Each course object in this list is initiated with the provided values. For each new method, a new course of method, each time this course.java file is created, class is being called and object is created. Sorry. Then comes the response serialization. Response serialization means before sending the response back to the client, Spring Boot serializes the details in that of list format into the JSON format using the Jackson object mapper package for as it is the structure of the response. Serialization response containing the list of courses is sent back to the client after converting or serializing to the using SendTime request. This is the question that we have addressed earlier. While I have mentioned about the request mapping annotation in the annotation section, I have mentioned that you can either use request mapping with values and get put, post or delete. Otherwise, we can explicitly use, instead of at request mapping, we can use at get mapping, at put mapping, at post mapping, and all. This also includes all the other dependencies associated with the at request mapping annotation, like Jackson package for realizing the JSON from the data object, the Java object to JSON to Java object, like that. Necessary package will be included as in the case when we use request mapping annotation also. This also I have gone through while defining a bean. A Java bean is a public class which provides with private instance variables, public getters and public setters, public constructors. So are the abbreviations used in the lecture. So that's all about the Spring Boot. I think you all got an understanding about the Spring Boot. Thank you all.